Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM, brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we talk ICAST in Orlando, Florida, 2021. We had our dynamic duo down there with Ron Wong and Samantha Gay, and we're talking on this segment with the first of three guests that Ron was able to talk into being on today's show. I hope he didn't have to pay him too much because our budget's kind of limited here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. It's really limited. But, hey, Ron, as we get back, how about introducing this young man on today's show?
I'd really love to, Larry, and good morning, everybody. I have to tell you, I have read about this family for a number of years, the McMillian family, who essentially has won every conceivable tournament in the state of Florida.
Yes.
That's where they reside there in the Clewiston area, which is Lake Okeechobee. And I had the pleasure of fishing in this past Tuesday in the ICAST Cup, which is the kickoff to ICAST, with Jared McMillian, a Major League Fishing pro who is one dynamite young man that really knows how to fish. I mean, he showed me how to catch those nice fish that we caught.
He showed
at
you.
Lake Toho.
Okay. And you listened.
And I got
Right.
yeah. And you know, so let me bring in Jared McMillian. He's a Strike King Lose pro and fishes on the MLF Tour. Jared, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Ron. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Ron is doing great. I can tell you that. He's in fish heaven, you know. I mean, when he's at ICAST. And, Jared, I'm glad to get you on with it because you did spend the day in the boat with Ron. Well, not all day, unless you left him out there and came back and got him later on. But there's so much new stuff that we've got to talk about here. Ron, I know you and Jared had a chance to get to know each other and talk about, Jared, give us some updates on what's new, and Ron will jump right in because I know our good friends at Strike King got some stuff out. We've already kind of hinted at that. Of course, Luz is always there. So, Ron, kick this thing out with a real serious question for Jared, and I'll come back with something dumb if I can think about it. So,
all right. Well, one of the things, Jared, that you had laying along with all your rods was one of the new Signature Series rods, a Luz, Team Luz Signature rod. And when I picked it up, I said, wow, this is something special. Talk to us about that
deal.
Particular series of rods.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a new series of rods. It's the Signature Series, and what they did is they had some of the best top guys of our pros design and build their own series of rods. And basically, these guys are experts at what they do, you know, in very specific points. They're really good fishermen all around, but they are very specific, you know, and detailed in some of the fishing that they do. And they design rods for that. We have Greg Hackney has a new frog rod. It's a 7.3.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's a gem of a rod. I mean, I'm looking forward to working some fish on that, and you know, it's a little bit more of a bend than the typical frog rod of the 7.2 custom heavy that we have, and that's just his preference, and it's a sweet rod. You know, Van Dam has his own jerkbait rod.
Oh yeah,
it's a real similar rod. It's a 610 medium heavy, and it has the perfect action to where you can really whip that bait, you know, a J200 to 300.
Okay.
You can really whip that bait out there and work it back to the boat. And whenever you hook them fish, then, you know, your landing ratio is a lot better. It's a sweet rod. We got all kinds of, we have a Hackney Series 711 flipping stick that I'm personally excited about too.
Okay.
It is light and it is heavy enough to really pull them big fish out of that cover. Something we do down here in Florida a ton.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
You know, and we and it's a preference of mine. We use big line, big weights, and we catch a lot of big fish. And I'm excited to use that rod as well.
And Ron, you had a chance to touch one of these things and seen some of these things, and it's pretty remarkable. We had Bob Brown on here recently, you know, Ron, and was talking about some of these rods, and you think, well, what can come next? And Ron, you saw Jared using this, and you had a chance to feel it.
I'll have to tell you, Larry. Not only how strong these rods are, how light these rods are,
yeah,
but they're so super sensitive.
Yeah,
and they have this the latest technology wind grips on them.
Yes.
No matter how wet it gets or whatever, it holds on to them. But, you know, just like Jared said, there's so many new specific type rods. Mark Zona, known for using a spinning rod. He's out. They've got his line of rods out.
Amazing. Yeah.
And I have to tell you, what amazes me is an affordable rod.
Okay.
When I say affordable,
yeah,
under $200.
Okay. All right. That's
and that's very impressive. And these are rods that a lot of pros are using.
Well, that's what I wonder. The regular,
they don't use just
the regular
high end stuff.
No, the regular guy can use these things, and
that's right.
And say, Jared, you know that. I mean,
oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, you won't.
I mean,
you won't. You guys.
Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people have the misconception of, is that you have to spend $400 a rod to have the sensitivity, the lightness, and everything that you need. And that's really not the truth, and it's a big lie, really. And
it is.
We knock that out of the park on performance of the rod, durability of the rod, and a price point in which any consumer, from the top level all the way down to the starting level, they're at the same. They're at the same with their equipment, and that's one thing that you can't argue that Lew's has.
No, and I know that a lot of people thinks, well, their rod's going to be different. They're pros. They're out there, you know. No, you can use the same rod that Jared McMillian might be using in Major League Fishing. I mean,
he's using them.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, what sport can you go do that? At most,
no,
you know,
not very many, and not for the price point in which you can
afford
it.
No.
That's a big thing. You know, it's just so hard to find good quality equipment for a price point in which the consumer can.
Jared,
average guy. I'm an average guy. I'm an average guy that just likes to go bass fishing and catch bass.
Well, you better where you live. You
have
you
great
better.
Tools. And I happen to have great tools to do it with.
Tools, I like that. Yeah. And Ron
now, Jared, you know, Lew's, Strike King are a very big part of your sponsorship and your family, but you can't fish professionally without your sponsorship and your family. Talk a little bit about, you know, some of your sponsorships and having your family behind you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, I mean, when I first started out with this whole crazy fishing deal, I mean, my mom was my main sponsor and did everything she could to get me out there because she knew that I had the ability and really stuck by my side on thick and thin on whether I did well or not. And I just happened to do well more than I didn't, and things worked out. And then into my career. And 1 year into my career, I got to meet the guys at Strike King. It was a phenomenal experience, and where they opened up my eyes to a lot more than just the fishing side of the world. And
family.
And got to meet them great people. I mean, they're like family to me. They're some of the best people on the planet, and it's really changed. Really changes the way that I get to fish because I have an extra set of backing now instead of just my family, which my family's great. Don't get me wrong. My
the family is
in there. Family is family.
Family is
but
family.
Now I've extended my family with the Strike King Lew's family, and it's just been great working with everybody.
Well, let me ask you before Ron, something technical here. I'm really interested in your Florida connection. Did you grow up in South Florida? Have you grew up in that area?
Yes.
And so
yes, sir. I grew up on the south end of Lake Okeechobee within 20 miles from where I grew up is where I live now.
So you're living a dream. How old are you now, Jared?
I'm 25 years old.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Y'all hear that, folks? I mean,
Yes.
he's talking about.
I got fortunate enough to get started at a very early age, fishing the Toyota series and working my way up from there. And I got a good head start on a lot of the competition, which is made me stand out on top of just being who I am. But it's been great.
Yeah, you don't get on the Strike King or the Lewis family without a little bit of talent here, Ron. I know that. You saw Jared working his talents for you guys. So talk about watching Jared as he fished the other day. He's got some ability.
Well, not only that, I talked to Jared the night before, saying, okay, what do I need to have tied on?
Uh-huh.
And he says, well, we're going to start off first with a little bit of top water. We're going to fish over shell beds, clumps of grass.
Okay.
You might have a cutter worm tied on. We're going to use a sexy dog. I know you like that.
I like that one. That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
And, see if we can't get a couple of big fish to commit. Unfortunately, top water bite wasn't on at all for us, but we did catch some fish on some cutter worms and also on a thunder cricket.
There you go.
A fellow named Danny White, who was fishing with us, had a thunder cricket tied on, and of course it was one of Jared's thunder crickets.
I thought it was. Wasn't one of yours. Okay, it was Jared's. Okay, yeah.
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Well, we got to get out. But as Ron always asks, now, folks, Jared's got what? Facebook. Tell us how we can keep track of you, Jared.
I'm on Facebook, Jared McMillian Fishing. I'm on Instagram as well, Jared Wayne McMillian Fishing. I have Twitter as well, Jared McMillian.
There you
Fishing.
go.
They're all about the same. So yeah, I'm pretty much on everything, and I try to keep up as much as possible with you guys and everybody. So definitely follow along.
Well, we appreciate you taking time, buddy, down there, and good luck to you and everything. And I'm sure you got some fans in our area, and going to have more fans as it goes along. Thank you, Jared McMillian. Okay, buddy.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, Larry, and thank you, Ron, for having me.
We'll stay in touch. We got your number, buddy. Okay? So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We're going to come back right now after that and talk to the Z-Man himself, Glenn Young, on Outdoors